Hello, my friends. It is September 16th, and it is time for Wednesday Connections. As I continue to stay connected with many of you via phone calls or visits with our mask on or whatever the case might be, and there's some Zoom calls that happen quite often, I'm hearing over and over again from many of you that you wish you were feeling more peaceful about things. We are more than 6 months into this time of being away from one another physically. And you were hoping that you would feel more peaceful about it. And I certainly understand that feeling. Being isolated from one another is not a natural way of being, particularly in a church community. And so today, as I think about that, I just want to share a few words with you about having peace within rather than looking on the outside, looking for the peace, because right now, particularly when we listen to the news and all of the things happening in our world, peace is really a hard thing to embrace right now, and looking on the outside, it's really hard to find it. And so I just encourage us during this time of being away from one another physically, and you're all so much alone. I talk to many of you who are alone, living alone, and it's a really hard time because you're trying to stay safe and healthy, and peace is a hard thing. So again, I'm going to share with you a reading from, again, my book that I love called Dare to Journey with Henry Nouwen, one of my favorite writers of all time. And it's a writing entitled Finding Peace Within, Learning to Be at Home with Ourselves. And he begins by sharing this passage of scripture from the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 27. And it's a verse that many of you are very familiar with. Jesus says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." I love these words I'm going to share with you from this devotional, Henry Nouwen. Listen to what he says about learning to be at home with ourselves. And I think it has a lot to tell us when there's so much unrest going on the outside. Henry Nouwen says, "We need to come to an inner peace if our life is to be perennially productive. Such inner peace is a fruit of the way we consistently live. It is not the product of an escape from our circumstances, although we frequently think that a change of circumstance will provide us with the answers we seek and the peace we long for. Peace comes from being at home with ourselves. It comes from being thankful for the way God has made and gifted us. It comes from the joy of giving and an appreciation for all we receive. It comes from accepting ourselves and celebrating all that is good while working on what needs to change. Peace comes from being loved and having the satisfaction of achievement and the challenge of new goals. Peace wells up from within, but it is clearly related to the way we live and the choices we make. But it is seldom the result of much having. It does not necessarily come with great success. Instead, it is the unexpected gift. It is a surprise. It is there even when we didn't expect it. It remains even when the going is tough, and it can grow in the midst of pain and difficulty. If peace finds its expression in being at home with ourselves, we clearly need to stop looking elsewhere. Nouwen laments the fact that we do not trust our innermost self as an intimate place. He notes that we anxiously wander around hoping to find peace on the outside where we are not. Because peace is not simply the fruit of our circumstances. It can only come from within. And it can only abide there if we are at peace with ourselves. Friends, I really believe during this time I hear from so many people, and I have said it too. I can't wait for us to be on the other side of this so we can be together again. But waiting for that moment, during that waiting, we need to embrace the peace and be the peace to others in a world that is so much at unrest right now. So I invite you also to continue to reach out to one another. There are a lot of lonely people in our community right now. Even people who are living with other people. Doesn't mean that they are just living alone, that the ones that are lonely. So I encourage you, if you have a nudge, as you sit in that world of peace inside you, if you have a nudge to reach out, do it. That may be God speaking. So friends, I look forward to seeing you someday in person again. And I look forward to seeing you again on Sunday morning. It's been great to be with you for a few moments. Be at peace within, because God is there within. We'll see you again soon.